Hello, my name is Olamide Moyo, and today I'm going to be presenting my Native American peoples for comparative state government. I'm going to be presenting to peoples in Florida and Texas. Native Americans that lived in Florida: Appalachee, the Calusa, Choctaw, Creek, Miccosukee, Tequesta, and Timucua. The Native American languages: Appalachee spoke the Appalachee language. Calusa spoke the Calusa language. Choctaw spoke the Choctaw language. Creek spoke the Muskogee language. The Miccosukee spoke the Miccosukee language. The Tequesta spoke the Tequesta language. And the Timucua spoke the Arawakan language. Native American peoples in Texas: Apache, Bidai, Coahuiltecan, Caddo, Comanche, Jumano, Karankawa, Kiowa, Kitsai, Tonkawa, and Wichita. The languages were: Apache spoke the Western Apache and Eastern Apache. The Bidai spoke Atacapa. Coahuiltecan spoke Comecrudo, Contoname, Coahuiltecan, and Coahuilteco. The Caddo spoke the Caddo. Comanche spoke Comanche language. Jumano spoke Kiowa Tanoan. Karankawa spoke Hokan and Carib. Kiowa spoke Pueblo. Kitsai spoke Caddoan. Tonkawa spoke unknown. Wichita spoke Caddoan as well. Feeding themselves: Appalachee were farming people. Women did most of the farming. The main things that were harvested were beans, squash, and corn. Appalachee men hunted deer, wild turkeys, and small game. They fished in the rivers and along the coast. Appalachee dishes included cornbread, soups, and stews. They also ate berries, nuts, and fruit. Calusa: the Calusa diet at settlements along the coast consisted primarily of fish. In particular, pinfish, pigfish, and hardhead catfish. These small fish were supplemented by larger bony fish like sharks, grouse, sea and land turtles, and land animals. Clothing themselves: first, I want everyone to know that not all Native Americans wore feathers in their hair. Apache: Apache men wore breechclothes, and Apache women wore wraparound skirts made of woven fiber. Shirts were not necessary in the Apache culture, but both genders wore cloaks in a cooler weather. The Apache also wore moccasins on their feet. Muskogee: ancestral Muskogee peoples wore clothing made of woven plant materials or animal hides. Depending on the climate, during the summer they preferred lighter fabrics, woven from tree bark, grasses, or reeds. During winter, they used animal skins and fur for warmth. During the 17th century, the Muskogee used some of the clothing styles of the Europeans. Cloth was lighter than colorful and more colorful than deer hide. It quickly became traded a lot throughout the region. Trade cloth in a variety of patterns and textures enabled Muskogee women to develop new styles of clothing, which they made both for men, women, and children. They incorporated European trade items such as bells, silk ribbons, glass beads, and pieces of mirror into the clothing. Defending themselves: Bidai: hunters men and hunters used bows and arrows. Fishermen usually used fishing spears and war. Bidai men fired their bows or fought with spears or wooden clubs. Kiowa: typical of all Plains people, the Kiowa were a warrior people who fought frequently with enemies both neighboring and far away. The Kiowa were notable even among Plains Indians for their long-distance raids, including raids far south into Mexico and onto northern plains. Almost all warfare took place while mounted on horses after the introduction of horses into Kiowa society. Governing themselves: Choctaw: in the past, the Choctaw tribe was led by a chief. This chief was chosen by a tribal council made up of all the important men in the tribe. Although he was the leader of the tribe, the Choctaw chief still needed to listen to the opinions of the tribal council. Otherwise, they might choose a new chief. Educating themselves: Caddo: the Caddo children went to school and learned, just like us. They learned numbers and words. They also had to learn how to do things around the village, like hunt and clean. Housing themselves: Karankawa: the Karankawa Indians lived in river cane huts thatched with palmetto bark or or leaves. Each family had its own small house, Tequesta. The Tequesta lived in huts or in five-story houses. Other tribes in southern Florida lived in houses with wooden posts, raised floors, and roofs thatched with palmetto leaves, something like the Chickees of the Seminoles. These houses may have had temporary walls of plaited palmetto leaf and mats to break the wind or block the sun. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you learned a lot. Bye.